Part 57. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 561. Each of the four swords of Zhu Xian has become tens of thousands of meters high, giving people the feeling of reaching the sky and the earth. There are countless swords Qi in the sword formation. Tegumen and the others' expressions changed wildly. Ye Chen. There was a look of horror in Tegumen's eyes, and he desperately improved his defense. However, the distance was extremely close, and before Tegumen's defenses could be raised, the terrifying power of death crazily invaded Tegumen's body, devouring his vitality at an extremely fast speed. Ye Chen, if you dare to kill me, I will expel and lanx you and the others from the red flame plane. Tegumen's extremely angry voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind. Tegumen, you have the guts to expel me. How shameless are you to expel Lan and these other women? Ye Chen's voice transmission. Kill. Countless sword energy also rushed towards Tegumen, and Tegumen's entire body was about to be torn to pieces. With a huge amount of terrifying death power in his body, and Ye Chen still having mid-8 star strength, Tegumen knew that he had a high probability of not escaping this disaster this time. Ye Chen, I will give you 2 breaths to stop. If you don't stop, I will expel and lanx you and the others immediately. I will do what I say. Tegumen threatened again. The distance is far away, and Lan and the others are in July universe. You may not have such ability. You will definitely die today. Ye Chen said with murderous intent. 2 breaths of time passed quickly, and Tegumen's strength had dropped to only the 7-star perfection level. He knew he couldn't delay it any longer. Ye Chen was determined to kill him today. Okay, Ye Chen, since you are so stubborn, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. I will expel and lanx you and the others right now. Tegumen snapped. As he spoke, he burned all his life force crazily, at the cost of his own life, and completely exploded the power of the plane token to expel and lanx you and the others. Expelling all, Tegumen was worried that he would not be able to do it with his current strength, so he expelled only 3. En lanx you, Luo Yudi, and Lu Qianqian. Luo Hanjian has returned, but this Tegumen doesn't know. If he knew this, Tegumen would probably choose to expel Ye Chen at this moment. Although Ye Chen has mid-8 star strength, even if Ye Chen is expelled, there is a high chance that Ye Chen will be able to get him back. Buzz. The power of the plane token sweeps across the entire red flame plane. If En lanx you and the others were in the red flame plane, the 3 of them would most likely be expelled from the red flame plane. Don't know where it will appear. Death is very likely. However, now En lanx you and the others are not in the Qian plane at all, expelling a loneliness. Call. Ye Chen secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He was actually a little worried about Tegumen expelling him. Even if he had mid-8 star strength, he would most likely be teleported far, far away. Even if you can return, it will take a lot of time. 5 minutes passed, and the power erupted from the plane token gradually subsided. Tegumen activated the plane token with his death, but it was impossible to keep the plane token in this state forever. 5 minutes was not bad. Receive. Ye Chen's powerful power enveloped the plane token, and he received the plane token into the Brahma ring. Tegumen died, and the plane token now has no owner. Whoever refines this plane token can become the new master of the red flame plane. It's just that Tegumen has just been killed, so this face token will probably be extremely difficult to refine in a short period of time. Ye Chen was not interested in refining this either. He even hopes to refine the plane tokens of the Yanhuang plane and revive the Yanhuang plane. Are you going to confine your cultivation yourself, or am I going to kill you? Ye Chen's cold voice sounded in Bias's mind. You are Ye Chen, right? We come from the Abyss plane, and our Abyss plane is extremely powerful. Among all 3,000 planes, our Abyss plane ranks 10th. Bias said proudly. Tegumen died, but Bias and the others were not afraid. They were confident in their background. With the strength of the Abyss Plane, even planes ranked closer will not be easily offended. Ladim also said at this time, Yechen, your strength is good, but your woman should have been expelled. We can help you in this regard. But you have to pay the price. Let us restore our strength here and look for treasures here. Bias, Ladim, and the other 10 7-star strong men from the Abyss Plane are not afraid at all. They have encountered situations like this in the past. As long as they reveal their identity, nothing will happen to them. You can often get a lot of benefits. Bias said, Yechen, how about giving us that plane token, and we can help you join our Abyss Plane? It's much better than being in the Red Flame Plane. Yechen said with an indifferent expression, Bias, put away your condescension. You have only 2 choices, surrender immediately or die. Bias said in a cold voice, Yechen, we strong men in the Abyss will never surrender. You'd better inquire with the others about the situation in our abyssal plane. With my mid-8 star cultivation, my strength is incomparable to our abyss. You are just a frog at the bottom of a well, but you know how big the world is. As soon as Yechen thought, the terrifying sword energy immediately rushed crazily into the body of one of the 7-star level experts, and his whole body quickly turned into nothingness. Yechen, you. Bias and the others were extremely angry. Immortal level warriors can only be truly immortal in the plane they are fully adapted to. Bias and the others have not yet fully adapted to the environment here. They can be killed now. Yechen is a mid-8 star warrior. If he is killed by a warrior of Yechen's level in a different plane, it is almost impossible for the killed warrior to revive. 1, 2, 3. Yechen counted to 3, and he attacked again, and another 7-star immortal level warrior was killed by him. We surrender. Bias gritted his teeth. Yechen has killed 2 people. If they don't surrender, Yechen will kill them again. Didn't you just say that the warriors of your abyss plane will never surrender? Yechen said sarcastically. Bias was speechless. The enemies they had encountered before were not as stubborn as Yechen. Knowing that they were in the abyss plane, he dared to kill them. Yechen, you'd better stop messing around. The strength of our abyss plane is far beyond your imagination. We have more than 10 9-star immortal level warriors in our abyss plane. Bias threatened. Threatening in his mouth, Bias and his men quickly restrained their own cultivation. With the strength of the abyss plane, they believed that they would definitely be rescued at that time. If Yechen knew the strength of the abyss plane more clearly, he might release them directly. Collect. Yechen waved his hand, and in the blink of an eye, the remaining 10 warriors of Bias and his men disappeared. Daiu, you. The 6 warriors who came in with Yechen looked at Yechen in shock. When Tegumen and Bias came over, they thought they would be expelled immediately, and they might even have to pay a heavy price. Unexpectedly, Yechen actually killed Tegumen, the lord of the plane. Bias and his men were also captured alive by Yechen. Everyone, you are here to get benefits in the Red Flame plane, you should know that there are certain risks. How about you enter my space treasure now? We can talk more and get to know each other better. Yechen glanced at the other 6 strong men. 2 of them are mid-8 star strong men, and 4 are 7-star immortal strong men, but now their strength is suppressed to 4-star and 5-star immortal levels. If Yechen wants to kill them, it's easy. But these 6 strong men may not all be offended, and some of them may be able to befriend them. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 562. The remaining 6 strong men quickly restricted their cultivation, and they entered the Brahma ring. Yechen tore apart the space and arrived outside the Qiyan plain. Hanjian, have you received Lan and the others? Yechen immediately sent a message to Luo Hanjian. Husband, I got it, Lan and the others are fine, don't worry. Luo Hanjian and Yechen quickly moved closer. It didn't take long for the two to get together. "Husband, are you done?" Luo Hongjian said expectantly. Ye Chen smiled and nodded, "Yes, Tegilman is dead. Let's talk about it when we get back." The two returned to the red flame plane, and Enlangxiu and the other girls were outside. Luo Hongjian said, "Husband, now we have two problems in the red flame plane. First, there must be other strong people in the red flame plane. Second, after Tegilman dies, abnormalities can be found outside the red flame plane. Strong men from other forces will definitely notice this when they come over." Ye Chen nodded slightly, so the plane token must be recognized as its owner as soon as possible. "Hongjian, my plan is for you to become the master of the red flame plane. I killed Tegilman. I think it will be difficult to obtain the plane token to identify the master. In addition, I will definitely enter the abyss plane and other planes in the future." Luo Hongjian frowned slightly, "Husband, do I become the master of the red flame plane?" She also thought about acting together with Ye Chen in the future. Ye Chen said, "Many powerful people will inevitably enter the red flame plane in the future, and the pressure will be greater. Enlan and the others are much weaker than you. Enlangxiu and the others are currently only at the late 6-star level, and Luo Hongjian is at the early 7-star level. Even if Enlangxiu and the others reach the early stage of 7-star cultivation, Luo Hongjian will be even stronger in the future. Hongjian, with an Ian's current strength, the chance of obtaining the plane token and recognizing their master is low." Luo Hongjian thought for a while and nodded slightly, "Husband, let me give it a try. Tegilman has not died much, and I may not be able to obtain the plane token to recognize him as the master in a short period of time." Ye Chen smiled and said, "I believe you can do it. Let's go back to July Universe first." In 2 or 3 days, Ye Chen and the others returned to July Universe. Enlangxiu and the others had only been away for a short time. On the July Universe side, Xiaoliu and Tong Tianjianzu were very strong, as were Palace Masters Xiao and the others, so nothing happened. "Hongjian, try it." Ye Chen handed the plane token into Luo Hongjian's hands, and Luo Hongjian communicated with the plane token under an acceleration of tens of millions of times, trying to gain its recognition. But half a month passed without any progress. "Husband, it seems not possible. Total inability to communicate." Luo Hongjian reluctantly sent the message to Ye Chen. Soon Luo Hongjian arrived outside, and she handed the plane token into Ye Chen's hands. Ye Chen tried to communicate, but it had no effect. "Brother, I can help you with this." Xiao Li's voice suddenly sounded in Ye Chen's mind. Ye Chen's eyes lit up, "Xiao Li, can you help? Let her recognize your beautiful sister as the master." "Brother, don't worry." Xiao Li replied. She immediately communicated with the plane token. Ye Chen had no choice, but Xiao Li could really communicate with the plane token. July Universe is now one of the 6 Supreme Universes. Brother and sister Hongjian are both very good people. It turns out that July Universe is just an ordinary medium universe, but now it is a Supreme Universe. The red flame plane is in the hands of Tegilman, and the ranking of the plane will not increase but decrease. If Sister Hongjian becomes the master, the red flame plane will definitely be stronger. Tegilman has been practicing for so long and only has the 7-star immortal level. Brother, they can kill Tegilman now, and they will become great powers in the future. Xiao Li constantly communicated and persuaded the weapon spirit in the plane token. Half an hour passed. The plane token instantly turned into a red light and entered Luo Hongjian's body, and it entered the phoenix red flame of Luo Hongjian's body immortal. It feels comfortable staying in the phoenix red flame. "Husband, the plane token begins to recognize its owner." Luo Hongjian said in surprise. "It may take 10 or 8 years from the beginning to the recognition of the master, but as long as the recognition of the master begins, the plane token will definitely fully recognize the master by then." Ye Chen is confident about this. Very good. Ye Chen's eyes showed surprise. Xiao Li, you have made great achievements. Ye Chen sent a message. He, brother, am I strong? Xiao Li said proudly. Awesome, Xiao Li, you are the best. Ye Chen praised. Xiao Li had to praise him well. If it weren't for her help, as for the plain token, Ye Chen felt that it might not take hundreds or thousands of years for it to start recognizing its master. If it drags on for a long time, many strong people will definitely come here, and it is very likely that the 9-star immortal level strong people will come here. Their safety will be very uncertain. Hanjian, now that the plain token has begun to recognize its owner, I feel more relieved. I have something to tell you. Ye Chen glanced at Luo Hanjian and the other girls and said. Luo Hanjian and the others looked at Ye Chen, and Luo Hanjian said, Husband, do you want to go to the abyss plane? Ye Chen looked at Luo Hanjian in surprise. Hanjian, you can do that. You guessed what I was thinking right away. Luo Hanjian sighed softly, Husband, you want to target the abyssal plane in the future, but if the situation here spreads, the abyssal plane will be on guard against you. If you go to the abyss plane again in the future, it will be difficult to adapt to the environment there. Now they don't know the situation here, you can make some time difference. Ye Chen nodded, you are right, the abyss plane is extremely powerful, and it is common for the 7-star immortal level strongmen in other planes to enter it. I went there earlier to adapt to the environment there, and it will be much easier in the future. Zi Lanyan said nervously, Husband, but if you go there now, your strength will be suppressed to only 5-star immortal level, which may be extremely dangerous. And Langxiu and the others also spoke up, they were all very worried. Ye Chen smiled and said, there are indeed certain risks to enter now, but the risks are not big. If you want to enter in the future, the risks are extremely high. Besides, if I enter now, I can sign in and get benefits. Taking a relatively small risk, there is a very good return, it's worthwhile. Originally, Ye Chen was quite entangled. If he left, what would Luo Hanjian and the others do? When the other strong men who entered here adapt to the environment, Luo Hanjian and the others will have certain risks. Now that the plain token has begun to recognize its master, Ye Chen's worries have been greatly reduced. Even if there are strong people in the red flame plane now, the number must be rare, and they still need 10 or 8 years to adapt to the environment here. By then, Luo Hanjian will have completely obtained the plain token to recognize her master. Luo Hanjian's current strength is at the early stage of the 8th star, and by then she should have the strength of the middle stage of the 8th star. After the plain token recognizes her master, Luo Hanjian's strength can be increased several times. Husband, you go. This decision is correct, although we are reluctant to let you go. Luo Hanjian said, Husband, if you are captured by the strong people in the abyss plane, don't forget that Bias and the others are still in our hands, we still have bargaining chips. Ye Chen will definitely not take Bias and the others with him, they are indeed good bargaining chips. But if the enemy knows that Ye Chen has a 10-star immortal system, Ye Chen will die. Yes. Ye Chen nodded, and 2 fragments of the plain token appeared in his hand. Hanjian, let's integrate this into the plain token. Although the plain token obtained by killing Tegumen looks good, it is actually incomplete. Ye Chen and his team have already obtained 2 fragments of the plain token. By fusing these 2 fragments of the plain token, the power of the plain token will be much stronger. The fact that Ye Chen and his team have dealt with Tegumen, the master, is also related to the fact that the plain token was broken before. Okay, husband. Luo Hanjian quickly received the 2 fragments into the phoenix red flame, and they quickly merged with the main body. Luo Hanjian felt that the fit with the plain token was rapidly enhanced. Husband, there is only 1 fragment left in the plain token. Luo Hanjian said. Ye Chen smiled and said, Hanjian, when your strength can be increased, you can find this yourself. The red flame plane is too large, and it is difficult for them to find the last fragment at present. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 563. In the Brahma Ring, Yechen asked one of Bias' men to appear in front of him. What do you call it? Yechen said softly. He was sitting and the other person was standing. This subordinate of Bias looked at Yechen with a gloomy face, and he was silent. If you don't obey, you still have 3 breaths before the end of your life. Yechen said calmly. Damn thing. This strong man cursed in his heart. Yechen had already killed 2 of them, and now Yechen threatened to kill them. This strong man knew it was definitely not a joke. Kazaman. Yechen smiled and said, look, it would be great to cooperate like this. Kazamuan, now tell me the important news you know about the Abyss Plane. Including the important secrets you know about the remaining strong men. If you target me in the Abyss in the future, these things will be useful to me. You can say nothing or just make it up, if you think you can deceive me. Kazaman said with a gloomy face, Yechen, we are powerful in the Abyss Plane. It will do you no good if you know these secrets. The more you know, the sooner you may die. Yechen said calmly, you don't have to worry about these, just take care of yourself. If what you say is too little or of low value, you will die. There are still 10 of you. If you fall behind, 2 or 3 will die. Kazaman was extremely angry, but he had to bow his head under the eaves. In order to survive, he could only choose to tell Yechen a lot of news. In just one day, Yechen got a lot of information about the Abyss Plane from Bias and the others, and also learned a lot about the other planes. Bias, give me your system. Yechen smiled. What did you say? Bias snapped. Although he wants to obtain a powerful system in the red flame plane, it does not mean that his system is bad. What he has is a powerful system at the 8-star level. Yechen said calmly, I told you to give me your system, do you understand? Or die. A cold light flashed in Bias's eyes. Yechen, you know what you are talking about. If you do this, you are tantamount to having a deadly feud with me, which is not good for you. You don't have to do this. Yechen said, you can cancel your recognition as the master, or I can kill you and get your system again. It's your choice. I'll give you 10 breaths to think about it. Okay, okay. Yechen, you have successfully angered me. I want to see how you survive then. Bias was furious. He was extremely reluctant, but in the end he was able to identify his own system. Ladim and the rest of the strong men also have systems. Most of the strong men's systems are at the 7-star immortal level, and some strong men's systems are at the 6-star immortal level. Needless to say, Yechen talked to them one by one cordially, and in a friendly atmosphere, they all happily handed over their systems. Wives, I have to get going. You have to be good. Yechen, Xuanhuan, and the others said goodbye reluctantly. Forced by the situation, if Yechen continues to stay, they will have no choice but to be beaten passively in the future. They might have been sealed in the Xian universe forever. Husband, be careful. Husband, don't forget that we still have hostages like Bias in our hands. Xuanhuan and the others spoke one after another. After a while, Yechen left cruelly. If you delay any longer, don't even think about leaving today. Tearing apart the space, Yechen arrived outside the Qian plain. Fellow Taoist, what's going on inside? Fellow Taoist. There were other strong men outside Qian. 2 strong men quickly approached Yechen. They were both top 7-star immortal level strong men. Yechen looked angry. Xuanhuan helped Bias and the others regain their strength, but Bias and the others actually took the opportunity to kill Xuanhuan. Bias and the others are arresting people on a large scale. If I hadn't had some strength, I might have been captured by Bias and the others. One of the two strong men said in surprise, "Is it Bias from the Abyss Plane?" Yechen said in a deep voice, "Who else could it be?" "That's all, the Abyss Plane is so powerful that I can't afford to offend you, so I will withdraw. If you want to go inside, be prepared to die inside." After Yechen finished speaking, he left as fast as he could. The speed he burst out was mid-8 star speed. The strength of this fellow Taoist should not be weaker than Bias's strength. It should be the middle stage of the 8 stars. I think we should not enter the red flame plane. 2 7-star perfection level experts left. They gradually spread the news here. Yechen killed 2 Gumen and captured Bias and the others, which was not seen by the other strong men. With the way Bias and the others behave, it is entirely possible to find an opportunity to kill Tegumen after their strength is restored. Time flies. Yechen now has mid-8 star strength, and his physical strength is also good. There is no big problem for him to stay in the plane gap for a long time. After 5 or 6 years, Yechen passed through many dangerous areas and finally approached the Abyss Plane. After such a long time, Yechen's system has digested the system devoured from Bias and the others. Now Yechen's system has accumulated great power. He is ready to sign in when the time comes to enter the Abyss. "Hello fellow Taoist, I want to enter the Abyss Plane." Yechen arrived at a huge temple outside the Abyss Plane. The height of the temple exceeds 1 million kilometers, exuding endless divine power. All powerful people who enter the Abyssal Plane must obtain a pass token to enter the Abyssal Plane. "What are you doing and how long are you going to stay in the Abyss?" A monster in front of Yechen said. This monster looks like a mountain of flesh with many eyes. Many of them stared at Yechen. Yechen said, "After all my hard work, I have finally reached the 7-star immortal level and can come to the Abyss Plane. I plan to settle in the Abyss Plane for a long time in the future." Speaking of which, Yechen took out a 6-star immortal pill. "You're good. But whether you can stay in the Abyss Plane or not, you will still face a test when the time comes." A token flew out from the mountain of meat. Yechen's cultivation level is indeed only at the early stage of 7 stars. With the strength of the Abyss Plane, there is no strict control over a strong person of this level. If Yechen shows his mid-8 star strength, it will be over. It will definitely have to be strictly investigated. The origin of Yechen must be clearly investigated. "Thank you." Yechen took the token and said. According to his understanding of the Abyss Plane, the level of tokens obtained by the same 7-star immortal level strongman entering it is actually different. With different tokens, you can enter different areas of the Abyss Plane. Yechen's token is basically unobstructed as long as it's not particularly important. Tasty. Yechen left, and Roshan quickly ate the elixir given by Yechen. Yechen got information from Bias and others. This Roshan is actually a top 8-star immortal powerhouse, and his combat power is not weaker than that of ordinary 9-star powerhouses. It likes to eat elixirs. If you give it the elixir, it will talk easily and check it casually. Soon Yechen arrived inside the Abyss Plane. The Abyss Plane is so powerful that it suppresses it more than 100 times. Yechen's strength was directly suppressed from the mid-8 star stage to the early stage of the 5-star stage. Newcomer. There are many powerful people in the Abyss Plane. Just as Yechen came in, space fluctuations occurred, and a nearby 6-star immortal level powerhouse quickly appeared on Yechen's side. He is now much stronger than Yechen. And behind the 6-star immortal powerhouses in the Abyss Plane, there are often even more powerful people. Right. Yechen nodded and took out the purple gold pass token he got. Be low-key, the consequences of messing around here will be serious. Seeing the purple gold pass token in Yechen's hand, the other party warned him and left quickly. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 564. Ye Chen secretly breathed a sigh of relief. The information obtained from Bias and the others is still very useful. Newcomers like him who have just come in are easily exploited by strong men in the Abyss Plane. But if you get a purple gold pass token to enter, you will basically not encounter such problems. This is very important to Ye Chen. If you are captured and carefully inspected by a very powerful person, there is no guarantee that no problem will be discovered. Although Ye Chen now keeps the 4 swords of Xuanhuan and other items in the system inventory. The Abyss Plane is divided into 9 heavens. My 7-star immortal cultivation level should have reached the 7th heaven now. Ye Chen secretly thought. Each level of the Abyss Plane is extremely large in scope. Each level is much larger than the entire Red Flame Plane. Among them, the 9th heaven is the most terrifying, and the top experts basically train in the 9th heaven. In the first level, the limit of heaven and earth is the 1-star immortality level, in the second level, the limit is the 2-star immortality level, and so on. The 9th level of heaven and earth reaches the limit of 9-star immortality level. Such rules can prevent the weak and strong from being easily slaughtered by the top strong. Only then will they have a chance to grow. Each universe in the Red Flame Plane has its own limit, and it actually has similar protection measures. I am currently in the 7th heaven. The limit of my strength is the 7-star perfection. It is much stronger than I am now. I'd better find a place first and adapt to the environment first. Ye Chen secretly thought. He left quickly. A few hours later, Ye Chen arrived at a floating city. The city owner of this floating city was a 6-star immortal person, and there were many strong immortals in the city. In the original Red Flame Plane, the 6-star immortal level experts were already extremely top figures, and the Hongmeng Supreme was only at the 6-star perfection level. But in the Abyss Plane, 6-star immortal level experts are pretty average. System: use the 7-star immortal level check-in point. Ye Chen bought a cave and planned to live here for 2 or 3 years. By then, the strength should be restored to the 6-star immortal level. Host: are you sure you want to use the 7-star immortal level check-in point? Sure. Ye Chen said. It is actually a waste to use the 7-star immortal level check-in point in such a place, but for Ye Chen, it is safer to stay in such a place for now. His strength is limited, and his ability to perform systematic death attacks is also limited. Better places are more dangerous. The check-in point was used successfully. The system is very fast. Ye Chen immediately felt that his luck was increasing, and his recovery speed accelerated a lot. In 2 or 3 years, Ye Chen will probably be able to restore his strength to the peak of 6 stars or even the perfect level of 6 stars. 1 year has passed in the blink of an eye. Ye Chen didn't run around, he had accumulated a lot of luck here in a year. His strength in the Abyss Plane has also returned to the early 6-star level. The system has also been enhanced a lot. If the system now explodes with all its accumulated death power, it should be able to kill the average 7-star immortal powerhouse. System: consume 1/3 of the swallowed system power, sign in 3 times. Ye Chen said in his mind. The treasures he brought, such as the Brahma Ring, the 4 swords of Xuanhuan, etc., are all subject to restrictions, but there will be no restrictions on the treasures obtained by signing in here. Ye Chen's eyes showed anticipation. The systems consumed by 1/3 of the total consumption are extremely terrifying. They come from more than a dozen powerful systems, including 2 8-star immortal level systems. You should be able to sign some good stuff. This is the first time I've signed into the Abyss. Ye Chen secretly thought. Sign in successfully, congratulations to the host for obtaining the 9-star immortal war city. The main city of this war can be transformed into a huge city, with 9-star immortal attack and defense power both internally and externally. The system's voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind. Ye Chen's eyes widened. What a guy, he actually signed in and got a 9-star immortal treasure. This war main city is much stronger than Xuanhuan Palace. In terms of level, this war main city is at the 9-star level. In terms of abilities, it has 9-star immortal attack and defense power both internally and externally. Of course, Yechen is now in the 7th heaven. Due to the limitations of the rules of heaven and earth, the 9-star immortal level war main city can only exert the full power of 7 stars. For Yechen, this is already extremely good. System, let the war city shrink and release the war city. Yechen ordered. The next second, the 9-star immortal level war main city appeared. It looks like an ordinary mansion. Master, please give me a name. A neutral voice sounded in Yechen's mind. This was the voice of the city spirit of the main city of war. The main city of this war is named Xuanhuan Immortal City. I'll call you Xiao Yan from now on. Your image and voice are determined to be that of a 5 or 6-year-old girl. Yechen ordered. Luo Hanjian and the others will definitely enter Yanhuang Eternal City in the future. Even if the city spirit's voice is neutral, Yechen feels a little uncomfortable. Good master. Xiao Yan is at your service. The pleasant voice sounded in Yechen's mind, and it sounded much more comfortable. Xiao Yan, your current attack power and defense power are at the 7-star perfection level. Yes master. Xiao Yan said. Yechen nodded slightly, and he said in his mind, System, continue to sign in. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a top 7-star immortal level Tongtian sword bamboo. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a top 7-star immortal level enlightenment pill. The two sign-ins ended quickly, and both were only 7-star immortal level treasures. System, compared with the treasures obtained from the first sign-in, aren't these two sign-ins a bit disappointing? Yechen said in his mind. The system said, Host, the first time you sign in the Abyss Plane, you have a 50% chance of getting an 8-star immortal treasure and a 5% chance of getting a 9-star immortal treasure. The second and third times will return to normal. Now you are in the 7th heaven, the probability of signing in to get an 8-star treasure is 1 in 10, and the probability of getting a 7-star immortal treasure is 100%. Yechen said, in other words, the last 2 times are normal, and the first time was just luck. Host, you can say that. Under normal circumstances, even in the 9th heaven, the probability of getting a 9-star immortal treasure is very low. The system said. Yeah. Yechen nodded slightly. He was actually very satisfied with the results of the sign-in. The treasures obtained by the next 2 sign-ins were not that bad. Although Yechen could sign in to get an 8-star immortal treasure in the July universe, such treasures were also restricted here. The Tongtian sword bamboo that he just signed in to get was 7-star perfect. System, if I use the enlightenment pill, I should be able to adapt to the environment here faster, right? Yes, host. The system said. Yechen's eyes lit up. It seems that the top 7-star perfect level enlightenment pill is also very good. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 565. Soon, Yechen used the top level 7-star perfect level enlightenment pill, and his speed of adapting to the abyss plane was much faster. In about half a year, Yechen's strength recovered to the level of the late 7-star. This strength is still far behind his original 8-star mid-level strength, but in the 7th level of the abyss, Yechen's strength is already quite good. Yechen paused his practice. He planned to go to the 9th level of the abyss. Even if he accumulated more luck here, when he signed in, it is likely that he would only have a 7-star immortal treasure, which would not satisfy Yechen. Even if he went to the 9th level of the abyss, Yechen's current strength is not a weakling. What's more, he also has the 9-star level Yanhuang Immortal City. Soon Yechen left the floating city. There are many places in the entire abyss plane with abyss magic wells, and you can enter a deeper plane through the abyss magic wells. It is easy to leave from a deeper plane, just tear the space. Not long after, Ye Chen approached a huge abyss magic well. The diameter of the entire abyss demon well is 1,000,000 kilometers. It was dark below, and nothing could be seen. Around the abyss demon well, many strong men jumped into the abyss demon well, and their figures quickly fell downwards. Many of their cultivations were actually not high, and some did not even have the cultivation of the immortal level. Entering the 8th and 9th levels of the abyss plane was just a gamble. For many Liuli realm level strong men, they may not be able to break through to the immortal level in the 1st and 2nd levels of the abyss plane no matter how hard they tried. Although you may die as soon as you get to the 8th and 9th levels of the abyss plane, you may also easily get powerful elixirs to make a breakthrough. Dangers and benefits coexist. Without much thought, Ye Chen quickly jumped into the abyss demon well. He felt the feeling of weightlessness, and the whole person quickly fell into the world below. It was dark all around. After falling for about half a minute, Ye Chen finally felt the light. At the same time, he felt that the rules of the world around him were much stronger. He successfully reached the 8th level of the abyss plane. The limit of heaven and earth is 8-star perfection. Even if he fully recovers his 8-star midterm strength, he will not be restricted in the 8th level of the abyss plane. But Xuanhuan Immortal City will still be suppressed in the 8th level of the abyss plane. In addition, there are definitely fewer strong men in the 8th level of the abyss plane than in the 9th level. Ye Chen's sign-in in the 8th level of the abyss plane must be much weaker. Continue. Ye Chen said in his heart. There is also an abyss magic well in the 8th level of the abyss plane, and it didn't take him much time to find one. Soon Ye Chen's figure appeared in the 9th level of the abyss plane. The 9-star perfection level strong men here can fully exert their strength. According to the information given by Bias, there are more than 10 9-star immortal level strong men in the abyss plane, and there are more than 200 8-star immortal level strong men. But the number of strong men with 8-star immortal level strength exceeds 500. Ye Chen said in his heart. So his current strength of the late 7 stars is actually not weak in the 9th level of the abyss plane. There are trillions of creatures in the 9th level of the abyss plane. Outsider. You are very brave, you dare to enter the 9th level of the abyss plane. A cold voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind, and the next second a flame giant hundreds of meters high appeared not far from Ye Chen. The body of the flame giant looked extremely terrifying. It seemed like a huge skeleton with heads stuck on it. The heads were shrouded in flames. There seemed to be souls wailing inside. In an instant, it seemed as if endless flames enveloped the area where Ye Chen was. Wailing souls appeared in all directions. They were frantically trying to pounce on Ye Chen. This flame giant is an 8-star level strongman. According to the information Ye Chen got from Bias and others, it is a corpse soul fire demon, with the strength of the early 8 stars, which is weaker than Bias's strength. Corpse soul fire demon, one of us. Ye Chen said. The corpse soul fire demon said grimly, outsider, who is yours? Ye Chen said a secret message. At the same time, a token appeared in his hand. Bad luck. It's really one of ours. I finally met someone I can have a good meal with. The corpse soul fire demon cursed. According to the information Ye Chen got from Bias and others, the corpse soul fire demon is from the skeleton hall, and Bias and Latim are also from the skeleton hall. The skeleton hall develops within the abyss plane, and will also develop some members in other planes. The master of the skeleton hall is a 9-star immortal level strongman, one of the giants of the abyss plane. It is worth mentioning that when the abyss plane fought against the Xuanhuan plane, the master of the abyss plane was also greatly damaged and fell into a long sleep. Now the master of the abyss plane has not awakened. Corpse soul fire demon, you don't want to eat me, do you? I'm afraid the master will not spare you then. Ye Chen smiled. Humph. The corpse soul fire demon snorted. This thought really flashed through its mind just now. But it immediately gave up the idea when it thought of the consequences. In the Skeleton Palace, internal fighting is a taboo. Even if it is an 8-star strongman, it cannot bear the consequences. Corpse Soul Fire Demon, how about you take me to the Skeleton City? Ye Chen smiled and said as he took out a 6-star immortal treasure. This is an evil treasure, and Ye Chen himself despises it. But for the Corpse Fire Demon, this was a good thing, and its eyes when it looked at Ye Chen suddenly became much kinder. Since we are one of our own, of course there is no problem in taking you to Skeleton City. The zombie fire monster smiled. The next second, the Corpse Fire Demon took Ye Chen and set off at high speed. The Skeleton City is relatively far away. With Ye Chen's current late-kicking strength, it would take 4 or 5 days to fly there, and it would only take 1 day for the Corpse Fire Demon to fly there. Moreover, the Corpse Fire Demon flew over with Ye Chen, so there would be no other strong men on the way to cause trouble. Fellow Taoist, Skeleton City is ahead. Do you have a place to stay? If not, you can come to my place to stay for a few days first. Corpse Soul Fire Demon Path. It wants to conquer Ye Chen and make Ye Chen his subordinate. There are also factions within the Skeleton Palace. The 8-star Corpse Fire Demon is already a big figure in the Skeleton Palace due to its initial strength, and it also needs strong men under its command. Is it appropriate? Ye Chen asked. The Corpse Fire Demon will appear in human form. He said with a smile, of course it's suitable. You can go to my place first to adapt to the environment here. That would be troublesome. Ye Chen smiled. When he enters the Skeleton City, if he goes to the Corpse Fire Demon, there will be no other strong men questioning him for the time being, otherwise there will definitely be strong men coming to him for questioning. Not long after, the Corpse Fire Demon took Ye Chen and flew directly into Skeleton City. If Ye Chen himself comes here, he will be interrogated when he enters the city. Soon, the Corpse Fire Demon landed on a huge mountain of bones. The height of Bone Mountain exceeds 100,000 kilometers. There are also many flowers, plants, and trees inside, so the entire Gushan Mountain does not appear to be bare. Friend Soul, I want to find a place to retreat for 3 to 5 years. On the one hand, we need to adapt to the environment, and on the other hand, we can see if we can make a breakthrough. Ye Chen demanded. The Corpse Fire Demon said with a smile, fellow Taoist Ye Xian, there is no problem at all. Soon the Corpse Fire Demon arranged a cave for Ye Chen. The cave is pretty good. It is quite important for the Corpse Soul Fire Demon to win over a relatively powerful 7-star immortal powerhouse. He only has a dozen 7-star immortal powerhouses under his command. Most of them are not as strong as Ye Chen. Fellow Soul, thank you very much. Ye Chen said. The Corpse Fire Demon laughed and said, fellow Taoist Ye Xian, practice well. By the way, there are some training resources here for you. Do you want them? The Corpse Fire Demon waved his hand, and many various training resources appeared. With such benefits, of course I do. Ye Chen said with a smile. The Corpse Fire Demon left with satisfaction. By using its training resources, Ye Chen will become its subordinate. Otherwise, Ye Chen would have greatly offended him. Confident in his own strength, Corpse Soul Fire Demon believes that Ye Chen will make the right decision when the time comes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 566. The Corpse Fire Demon left, Ye Chen went to the Brahma Ring, and the Xuanhuan Eternal City was inside. According to information from Bias and the others, the Lord of the Skeleton Palace has fought with the top powerhouses from other planes before, and is still recovering from his injuries while sleeping. And it should be here in Skull City. Ye Chen secretly thought. If he signs in, he might get something pretty good. It's just that 1/3 of the system power devoured earlier has been consumed. Now it's only half a year since the last sign-in, so the interval is a little short. Bear it for another half a year. Ye Chen thought about it for a while and thought to himself. There are many strong people in the abyss plane. If he kills with all his strength, it is not difficult to defeat some strong people and devour some systems, but it is easy to alert the enemy. He currently only has a cultivation level of late 7 stars. The Xuanhuan Immortal City is quite capable, but if he is besieged by 9-star immortal level experts, even if he has the Xuanhuan Immortal City, he will not be able to escape the fate of death in the end. The Xuanhuan Eternal City must take advantage of its enemies. Time passes day by day. In half a year, Ye Chen's strength returned to the 7-star level, which is pretty good. System, consume half of the swallowed system power and sign in 3 times. Ye Chen opened his eyes and said in his mind. It's been a year since the last time he signed in. There are many strong people here in Skeleton City, and he is now in the 9th level of the Abyss, so he should be able to sign in and get good things. The sign-in is successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 8-star immortal level sign-in point. The host can teleport to other check-in points in the Abyss plane at this check-in point. The system voice sounded. Ye Chen's eyes brightened. At present, this thing is what he wants most, and he is silently thinking about getting this. On the one hand, the check-in point can accumulate luck and allow him to sign in to get better things. On the other hand, the check-in point can speed up his recovery. System, use the check-in point, and also, pause the check-in. Ye Chen quickly said in his mind. Since you got this in the first lottery, you must take it slow in the other 2 draws. After accumulating luck, you can get better things. Another half year passed in the blink of an eye. The 8-star immortal level sign-in points accumulate luck very quickly. They have accumulated a huge amount of luck in half a year. At the same time, Ye Chen's strength has returned to the early 8-star stage. System, continue signing in. Ye Chen said. He was full of confidence now. He is stronger than before, and he has accumulated strong luck. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for improving his technique to the top 8-star immortal level. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for receiving the top 8-star immortal elixir gift package. Neither of the 2 sign-ins received the 9-star immortal level reward, but the 2 top 8-star immortal level rewards were pretty good. Ye Chen's skills are now at the 8-star immortal level, but they are only in the early stage of 8 stars. The skills have improved a lot after being upgraded to the top 8-star immortal level. With the improved skills and the addition of powerful elixirs, I should be able to fully adapt to the environment here soon, and my cultivation level should also improve. Ye Chen secretly thought. His current cultivation level is only at the early stage of 7 stars. This kind of cultivation is more difficult to improve in the red flame plane. The natural abilities of the red flame plane are there, but the abyss plane is much stronger. System, strengthen your skills. Ye Chen said in his mind. With time accelerating, it didn't take much time for Ye Chen to complete the strengthening technique. He was surprised to find that with the strengthening of his skills, he had completely adapted to the environment here. Very good. A lot faster than originally expected. Ye Chen had a smile on his face. Normally, it would take more than 10 years to adapt to the environment in the abyssal plane. Ye Chen originally gave himself 5 years. It actually took about 3 years. I am now at the mid-8-star level, and the corpse fire demon is weaker than me. Ye Chen secretly thought that his consciousness quietly extended beyond the bone mountain of the corpse fire demon. There are a large number of creatures in Skeleton City. Many of them only have immortal level cultivation, and some even have no immortal level cultivation. After all, the top strong men need servants with low strength, otherwise how can they show their superiority? Easily, Ye Chen's consciousness invaded the body of an immortal level warrior in the glazed realm, and Ye Chen easily hypnotized this guy, who was pretty strong. Do you know? I know a big secret. This powerful man in the glazed realm said with drunken eyes. The good liquor in the abyss plane, not to mention the glazed realm level characters, even the immortal level experts with good strength can get drunk. What secret? The strong man at the same table immediately became curious. No matter how powerful a person is, he will be curious. What's more, they are at the 9th level of the abyss, and their strength is only average. Some important secrets may make them successful. I'm telling you, the Blood Witch Emperor's youngest son, he was killed by the Bone Dragon Demon Lord of Skeleton City. Not many people know this secret. The strong man secretly controlled by Ye Chen said drunkenly. Hiss. The strong man at the same table took a breath of cold air. Many other strong men around looked at them. Fellow Tata, you are drunk, don't talk nonsense. Ye Chen's companion who controlled the strong man said immediately. No. I'm not drunk, I can still drink. Who said I was talking nonsense? I'm not talking nonsense. Ken, it must be true. The strong man controlled by Ye Chen shouted. Nonsense, you should be killed. At this moment, a cold voice sounded here, and the strong man controlled by Ye Chen and his companions were directly crushed to death by the tyrannical force. The one who shot was naturally Ye Chen himself. The other strong men who heard the news and saw the scene had their hair standing on end. But Ye Chen did not kill them again. The people around left one after another, and they were terrified. The vast majority of people kept the secrets they heard tightly, but many people heard it, and the news still spread. Although the Blood Witch Emperor did not have the strength of the 9-star immortal level, he was a top level 8-star immortal level strongman, and he was also a top big man in the abyss plane. Some things, as long as there is a breakthrough, can be more or less found out by full investigation. What Ye Chen said was not nonsense. He got the secret from Bias and others. After receiving the news, the Blood Witch Emperor immediately sent someone to investigate secretly in the Skeleton City. 2 months passed. Emperor, according to the results of our investigation, there is a 90% chance that the young witch master was killed by the Bone Dragon Demon Lord. A strong man in front of the Blood Witch Emperor said respectfully. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord is a strong man at the peak of the 8 stars, and his strength is weaker than that of the Blood Witch Emperor. Pass the relevant evidence to this seat. The majestic voice of the Blood Witch Emperor sounded. Yes. Soon a lot of information was passed to the Blood Witch Emperor. According to that information, the Blood Witch Emperor himself felt that there was at least a 95% chance that his youngest son was killed by the Bone Dragon Demon Lord. He only had 3 sons in total, the eldest son had died a long time ago, and the second son's talent was not as good as the youngest son. Very good. The Blood Witch Emperor's eyes flashed with cold light. Soon the Blood Witch Emperor took many of his men directly to the Skeleton City. In the Skeleton City, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord naturally got the news a long time ago. Although his strength was not as good as the Blood Witch Emperor, the strength of the Skeleton City was stronger. The Blood Witch Emperor came here to avenge his youngest son, but it was not that easy. Finally broke through. A smile appeared on Ye Chen's face. His cultivation reached the level of the middle stage of the 7 stars. Combat power is the late stage of the 8 stars. The situation is tense. I'll add more fuel to the fire. Ye Chen said in his heart. He deliberately spread the news to attract many powerful people like the Blood Witch Emperor. In this way, many powerful people in Skeleton City will also gather. There will be more powerful people in Skeleton City. He can sign in and get better things then. In addition, if a powerful person gets into trouble in this situation, isn't it reasonable? System, summon this guy. Ye Chen said in his mind. He told his system the soul breath of a powerful person. He wanted to summon an early 8-star powerful person from Skeleton City. Now that he has the strength of the late 8 stars, With the ability of his system, it should be no problem to summon an early 8-star powerful person. Even if the summoning fails, the other party will suspect the Blood Witch Emperor and others. Okay, host. A few seconds later, the strong man Yechen wanted to summon was successfully summoned. Boom. As soon as he appeared, the summoned strong man immediately burst out his strength with all his strength. And he used forbidden techniques. However, he was summoned to Xuanhuan Immortal City. The level of Xuanhuan Immortal City is 9-star immortal level. What can he do? Remove the recognition of your system and give your system to me, otherwise you will die. Yechen's calm voice sounded in the mind of the summoned strong man. At the same time, the powerful force of Xuanhuan Immortal City suppressed him. 9-star immortal level. The summoned strong man was extremely frightened. I don't have to kill you, but if you don't know what's good for you, I won't be polite, understand? Understand, understand. The other party said hurriedly. Facing the 9-star immortal level strong man, he couldn't have the will to resist in his heart. Every 9-star immortal level strong man in the abyss plane is a giant. He can't afford to offend any of them. But he didn't know which 9-star immortal giant was targeting him. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 567. Soon this 8-star early stage powerhouse came up with his own system. His system only has the 7-star immortal level. He is still only at the early stage of 8-star cultivation, and there is no powerful person to help him. This is normal. Ladim's early 8-star cultivation level is only in the 7-star immortal level system. Bias has a mid 8-star cultivation level, and there are still strong people in his family. Open the space treasure. Yechen said softly. The other party reluctantly opened his own space treasure. Many things were transferred by Yechen, including a lot of training resources. Yechen left a lot of training resources to Luo Hanjian and the others. If he didn't find a way to obtain training resources, his training speed would be greatly reduced. Sir, is there any misunderstanding? I am from the Skeleton Hall, and the master of our Skeleton Hall is a 9-star immortal level powerhouse. The other party said. Yechen didn't say much to the other party. He waved his hand and the strong man disappeared. He has no intention of killing the other party at the moment. Just obtain the opponent's system and resources and imprison the opponent. If anything happens to me in the future, at least I still have a bargaining chip in my hand. The Xuanhuan Immortal City, which possesses the 9-star immortality level, is still inside the burning sky ring. The chance that the other strong men will find it through positioning is very low. What's going on? Outside, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and many of their strong men arrived at the spiritual mountain of the strong men summoned by Yechen. My lords, my father has just sent us a message that a top powerhouse has forcibly summoned him. My father can't be contacted right now. The strong man Yechen summoned was named Yalan Demon Lord, one of his sons said nervously. Bone Dragon Demon Lord and the others immediately contacted Yalan Demon Lord. They are stronger and can reach a wider range of contacts. But the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and the others failed to contact each other. This situation is extremely abnormal. It must be the Blood Witch Emperor and the others who are causing trouble. The strong man who summoned our Skeleton Palace to threaten us in this way. The strong men present in the Skeleton Hall were furious. Now that the Blood Witch Emperor and the others are looking for trouble, it is natural that the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and the others suspect the Blood Witch Emperor and the others. Let's go find them. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord said in a cold voice. The Yalan Demon Lord has disappeared. If he cannot be found, he will be under great pressure. He killed the Blood Witch Emperor's youngest son, which resulted in problems for the other strong men in the section. What will the other strong men in the sect think of him, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord? Yalan Demon Lord is not a villain either. With an early 8-star cultivation level, Yalan Demon Lord is already the top expert in the Skeleton Palace. Walk. They must give an explanation. The other strong men in the skeleton palace spoke one after another. Soon the powerful men from the skeleton palace approached the Blood Witch Emperor Zun and them. The Blood Witch Emperor and the others did not do this, so of course they cannot admit it. Blood Witch Emperor, this is boring. Are there other powerful people in our skeleton palace? If not you, could it have been done by other powerful people? The Bone Dragon Demon Lord said in a cold voice. Who killed my youngest son? The Blood Witch Emperor said coldly. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord said in a deep voice, I am sure that I killed him. He is already dead. I will pay you compensation. You must release fellow deist Yalan immediately. Bastard thing. The Blood Witch Emperor takes action boldly. Boom. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord only has 8-star peak strength, which is much weaker than the Blood Witch Emperor. He was blasted hundreds of thousands of kilometers away by the Blood Witch Emperor's extremely angry blow. Blood Witch Emperor, what do you want to do? Do you think our skeleton palace is afraid of you? There were many strong men present in the skeleton palace. When the Blood Witch Emperor took action, they immediately took action. A large area around them collapsed. If you want to fight, fight outside Skeleton City. If you wake up the palace master, you won't be able to reap the rewards. A cold voice came from afar. This matter is not over yet. The Blood Witch Emperor said through gritted teeth, and he quickly left the Skeleton City with his people. Let fellow deist Yalan go. Some of the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and others shouted, but the Blood Witch Emperor ignored them and left as quickly as possible. In Yanhuang Eternal City, Yechen felt the fluctuations in the outside world. Blood Witch Emperor and Bone Dragon Demon Lord are likely to fight. But here in Skeleton City, it is absolutely impossible to fight hard for the time being. Half a month later, the Blood Witch Emperor returned. At their level, who doesn't have a few relatively strong friends? The Blood Witch Emperor respected the 8-star perfect level of strength. He called 2 friends over, one of whom also had the 8-star perfect level of tyrannical strength. His son is dead, and the Bone Dragon Demon Lord has admitted that this matter cannot be let go. Even the Blood Witch Emperor would not be able to accept a simple apology. Blood debts must be repaid with blood. But how could the Bone Dragon Demon Lord agree? Besides, the Yalan Demon Lord is still missing. The Blood Witch Emperor's eyes flashed fiercely and said, I would like to say it again, Yalan Demon Lord was not summoned by us, he must be your own fault. We absolutely didn't. The strong men on the Skeleton Palace side said one after another. No one on either side believes the other. If the matter cannot be settled, how can the Blood Witch Emperor and the others leave? As time passed, both sides called in more strong men to help out, and the situation became tense. Before you know it, 1 year has passed. Yechen used powerful elixirs, and his cultivation improved a lot. However, it takes more than 1 year to break through from the middle stage of the 7 stars to the late stage of the 7 stars. System, use all the remaining system power to sign in 3 times. Yechen said in his mind. Now there are many more strong men gathered in the Skeleton City than before, and the luck he has accumulated is also stronger. He should have the opportunity to sign in and obtain the treasure of the 9-star immortal level. Sign in successfully, congratulations to the host for obtaining the 9-star immortal level Chaos Battle Body. The system voice sounded. Yechen's eyes lit up. System, suspend sign in, let me have this first. Yechen hurriedly said in his mind. His current physique is the 8-star immortal level. If his physique is improved to the 9-star immortal level, Yechen estimates that his cultivation can definitely be improved to the late stage of the 7 stars. By then, he will have the peak combat power of the 8 stars. Okay host. Time accelerated for the second half of the month, and Yechen's physique was improved to the 9-star immortal level without any surprises, and his cultivation also reached the late stage of the 7 stars. Comfortable. I thought it would take another 5 or 6 years to reach the late 7-star level. Ye Chen muttered in his heart. At Ye Chen's level, it is very difficult to improve the level of cultivation. But the physical fitness has been improved so much. The 8-star immortal level physique has been improved to the 9-star immortal level physique, which has increased several times. The strength of the peak of the 8 stars, plus the 9-star immortal level Yanhuang immortal city, even in the abyss plane, my strength is already extremely powerful. Ye Chen said in his heart. But such strength is far from being arrogant in the abyss plane. Although there are no 9-star perfect strongmen in the abyss plane, there are 9-star peak strongmen. Although Yanhuang immortal city is 9-star immortal level, it is only the early 9-star. I signed in this time, I will leave the abyss plane after doing a job. Ye Chen's eyes flashed. This time he came here, but he didn't intend to stay in the abyss plane for a long time. His purpose is to adapt to the environment here, so that it will be convenient to kill in the future. After leaving the abyss plane, Ye Chen also planned to go to another plane. Among all the planes, the bright plane ranked third. When the Yanhuang plane was in trouble, the abyss plane was the one that caused trouble, but it was the bright plane ranked third that really made the Yanhuang plane pay a heavy price. The strength of the abyss plane was a little weaker than that of the Yanhuang plane. While I am still only at the 7-star immortal level, I will go there in advance to adapt to the environment of the bright plane. System, continue to sign in. Ye Chen said in his mind. There are still 2 more sign-in opportunities. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 568. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 9-star immortal time tower. The internal maximum time acceleration is 500 million times. The system sounded, and a lot of information poured into Ye Chen's mind. Nice one. Ye Chen was excited. He left the time cube to Luo Hanjian and the others. The time treasure he is using now can accelerate time up to 30 million times. But the economic acceleration is only 3 million. Ye Chen consumes more resources and usually maintains an acceleration of tens of millions of times. The time tower obtained by new sign-in can accelerate up to 500 million times, and the more economical time acceleration can reach 50 million times, which is much stronger than the time cube. If he were extravagant, he could maintain a normal speed of 100 million times. System, you are quite impressive this time. Ye Chen said in his mind. After signing in 3 times, I actually got 2 9-star immortal treasures in the first 2 times. So cool. Sign in successfully. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the top 8-star immortal level battleship. The third check-in ended soon. This time it's not a 9-star immortal treasure. It's too outrageous to have 9-star immortal treasures 3 times. This is not bad. The top 8-star immortal level plane warship can move between planes much faster. Ye Chen secretly thought. Ye Chen actually spent a lot of time on the road from the Xi'an plane to here. If there had been an 8-star immortal level plane battleship before, he would have saved at least half the time. I got the 9-star immortal time tower. Can I practice here? Ye Chen thought. He practiced extravagantly, and his training speed could reach 10 times the previous speed. After another year of training here, Ye Chen believed that he would definitely be able to reach the peak of 7 stars. Well, we still can't delay here. If you practice here to reach the peak of 7 stars, it is entirely possible to reach the perfect level of 7 stars on the way to the plane of light. Ye Chen secretly thought. The difficulty of entering the light plane is about the same between the peak 7-star cultivation level and the perfect 7-star cultivation level. After all, a character with a perfect 7-star level might be able to break through to the 8-star level sooner if he is lucky and adapts to the environment in the light plane. Fellow Soul, are you busy now? Ye Chen sent a message to the corpse fire demon. The corpse fire demon's voice quickly sounded in Ye Chen's mind. Fellow Taoist Ye Xian, have you adapted to the environment of the 9th level of the Abyss? Yechen sent a message and said, Friend Corpse Soul Taoist, after I adapted, I gained the peak strength of 7 stars. Fortunately, I got a breakthrough, and now I have the perfect strength of 7 stars. The corpse fire demon's eyes showed a look of shock. Previously, Yechen was only as strong as the late Kixing. How long had it been before his strength had improved so much? It is only the initial strength of 8 stars. If Yechen improves at this speed, it is entirely possible that his strength will be equal to his in the future. Suddenly, Yechen's weight increased a lot in the heart of the corpse fire demon. Originally, it was thinking of making Yechen his subordinate, but now that Yechen has the perfect strength of Kixing, he might not be so obedient. More possibilities may be cooperation. Fellow Daoist Yechen, do you really have the strength of the 7-star perfection level? The corpse fire demon said in a message. It's a bit disbelieving. Could it be that Yechen said this deliberately to deceive it so that he could get rid of it and want to join the other strong men in the skeleton hall? Now there happen to be many strong men here in Skull City. Friend Soul, how could I lie to you about such a thing? Yechen said with a smile. The corpse fire demon quickly arrived at Yechen's cave, and he entered the cave. Yechen directly released the 7-star perfection level aura. In the judgment of the corpse soul fire demon, Yechen's aura was much stronger than that of a person who had just reached the 7-star perfect level. Fellow Daoist Yechen, you are improving very quickly. According to me, it is very likely that you will have 8-star immortal strength in the future. Corpse soul fire demon path. It is a little jealous. Yechen's talent is probably much higher than it. Friend Soul, thank you for this treasure land. Yechen smiled, and as he spoke, a 7-star immortal pill appeared in his hand. Fellow Soul, please be careful. Yechen gave the pill guide. The corpse fire demon took the elixir in surprise. Although he had an 8-star immortality level, the 7-star immortality elixir was also an excellent thing for him. Fellow Soul, I just arrived here, and I don't know a few powerful people within the section. I wonder if friend Soul can introduce some of them. I will prepare a small gift so that you, fellow Soul Daoist, will not lose face. Yechen smiled. The corpse fire demon looked at Yechen, and he found Yechen even more pleasing to his eye. Very good. No problem, I'll cover it. Corpse soul fire demon path. Yechen cupped his hands and said, Friend Soul, then I will prepare the wine and food first. In the skeleton palace, there are some strong men who have good relations with the corpse fire demon. Among them is the bone dragon demon lord. Not long after, the bone dragon demon lord and a dozen or so strong men came over. They all had 8-star immortal cultivation. The corpse fire demon invited them over in his own name. Friend corpse soul, what's the good news? Fellow soul. Bone dragon demon lord and the others spoke one after another. You'll know when we get there. The corpse fire demon smiled, and it brought the bone dragon demon lord and the others to Yechen. Bone dragon demon lord and others showed doubt in their eyes. Corpse soul fire demon said, Dear Daoists, let me introduce you to this one. This is Daoist fellow Yechen. Don't look at him now, only has the strength of the 7-star perfection. When I brought him here 2 years ago, he was only the strength of the 7-star late stage. In the future, there is a high probability that he will have the strength of the 8-star level. Yechen was secretly shocked. Wow, the corpse soul fire demon actually called over a dozen 8-star level powerhouses. Bone dragon demon lord, an 8-star peak level powerhouse, was called over. This was a bit beyond his expectations. Dear Daoists, I prepared some things, and wanted Daoist fellow corpse soul to help me get to know a few fellow Daoists from the sect, but I didn't expect Daoist brother Bone Dragon to come. It seems that I have to show more sincerity. Take this opportunity to ask Daoist brother Bone Dragon to help you identify a treasure. It should be a good thing. I am not sure about the specific level. If everyone offers a suitable price, I can also sell it to everyone. Ye Chen bowed. When Bone Dragon Demon Lord and the others heard what Ye Chen said, they all became interested. Ye Chen was at least a 7-star perfect strength, so he was not sure, so it was most likely an 8-star treasure. And it was most likely not just an 8-star early or middle 8-star treasure. Fellow deist Ye Xian, what are you waiting for? Let us help you look at the treasure first. We are one family, so you are welcome. We will have a long time to get along. Bone Dragon Demon Lord smiled. He had been in a big fight with Blood Witch Emperor and the others recently, and some strong men inside were dissatisfied with him, so he had to show some unity. The thing is big, in my treasure space, please move. Ye Chen said apologetically. Bone Dragon Demon Lord and the others nodded. More than 10 of them acted together, not worried about Ye Chen's mischief. The next second, Ye Chen brought Bone Dragon Demon Lord and the others to Xuanhuan Immortal City. The aura of Xuanhuan Immortal City was restrained, and it did not feel strong. In Xuanhuan Immortal City, a huge tower stood, and this tower was the Time Tower. The Time Tower was tightly closed under Ye Chen's order, and the aura was also restrained. Fellow deists, this is the treasure I'm talking about. This tower is very strange. I am now at least a 7-star perfect strength, but I can't destroy it with full force bombardment. In addition, the surrounding things can be restored after being destroyed. Maybe it was affected by this tower. Ye Chen said. The corpse soul fire demon tried to slap it out with one palm, and he used half of his strength. Boom! A huge sound sounded, and the giant tower did not move at all. The surrounding ground was destroyed, but everything around it was completely restored in a very short time. The Time Tower is a 9-star immortal treasure, and its defense is also good. How could it be destroyed by an attack like the corpse soul fire demon? Even if the Bone Dragon Demon Lord attacked with all his strength, it would be impossible to destroy this Time Tower. As for the recovery of the surrounding ground, it has nothing to do with the Time Tower. Ye Chen deliberately made Xuanhuan Immortal City like this. If not, Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men would definitely find that Xuanhuan Immortal City also has problems. Even if Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men entered, Ye Chen could not take them down at the same time. Interesting. Bone Dragon Demon Lord said. He showed excitement in his eyes. He thought this tower should be a top-notch thing. Brother Bone Dragon, are you doing research together, or are some people doing research while others go out to drink and have fun? Ye Chen said. Bone Dragon Demon Lord's eyes flashed with brilliance. He naturally hoped that he would do research first. However, if he was alone, it would seem that he was too greedy. Everyone, we came here today mainly to meet Brother Ye Xian. Researching this is just a side job. Let's not gather here together. There are 12 of us in total. 4 will stay and 8 will go out to drink first. Bone Dragon Demon Lord smiled. Bone Dragon Demon Lord is the strongest. When he said this, the other strong men naturally agreed. Leave 3 more strong ones, and we will try to help fellow deist Ye Xian identify them as soon as possible, said the Bone Dragon Demon Lord. The other 3 strong characters quickly stood up, 2 of them were at the late 8-star level, and 1 was at the middle 8-star level. Everyone, please, I have some good wines in my collection, which should satisfy everyone. Ye Chen said with a smile. He took the other 8 strong men including the corpse soul fire demon to the rest of the Xuanhuan Immortal City. Only 2 of the 8 of them were at the middle 8-star level, and the other 6 were only at the early 8-star level. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 569. Fellow deist Ye Xian, your wine is really good. Fellow deist Yeshian, cheers. The corpse soul fire demon and the others drank happily. Here, the 4 strong men of the bone dragon demon lord were doing their best to conduct research. At first, the bone dragon demon lord and the others paid a little attention to the situation on Yechen's side, and found that everything was normal on their side, so the bone dragon demon lord and the others did not pay attention to it anymore. It should be okay. Yechen muttered in his heart. The next second, the space fluctuated, and 7 of the corpse soul fire demon and the others were directly transferred to the 7 prisons of Xuanhuan Immortal City by powerful forces. As a powerful war main city, Xuanhuan Immortal City naturally has many prisons. The 7 strong men who were transferred away were shocked. They immediately attacked the prisons where they were imprisoned with all their strength. But different prisons formed powerful formations. The power of their bombardment was actually transferred through the formation, and many of the powers would offset each other. Boom! The corpse soul fire demon was not teleported away, he was still in the hall where Yechen was. The powerful force of Xuanhuan Immortal City suppressed the corpse soul fire demon. 9-star immortal level. The corpse soul fire demon was horrified. Puff! Puff! 3 of the 4 swords of Xuxian formed a battle formation, and the Xuxian sword directly penetrated the body of the corpse soul fire demon and entered his body. Surrender, or die. The skeleton hall is powerful, and you may be redeemed. Yechen's voice sounded in the corpse soul fire demon's mind. The Xuxian sword was inside, and the Xuxian sword formation was outside, attacking the corpse soul fire demon frantically. Suppressed by the power of Xuanhuan Immortal City, the corpse soul fire demon's strength from the early 8-star stage fell to only the middle 7-star stage, and Yechen's strength was now the peak of the 8-star stage. I surrender. The corpse soul fire demon said in panic. Under Yechen's powerful attack, the corpse soul fire demon felt that he could not bear it for a few seconds. In less than 5 seconds, the corpse soul fire demon's cultivation was imprisoned, and he was the first to be captured. Collect. The corpse soul fire demon was imprisoned by Yechen. Yechen instantly arrived next to one of the prisons in Xuanhuan Immortal City. There was also an 8-star early stage strongman in this prison, whose strength was similar to that of corpse soul fire demon. Similarly, this guy was also taken down by Yechen in just a few seconds. Brother Bone Dragon. Brother Bone Dragon. While the other strongmen were attacking frantically, they kept contacting the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and others, but they did not have a very powerful communication system. Their highest cultivation was only the middle 8-star. Xuanhuan Immortal City is a 9-star immortal treasure. Time passed second by second, and Yechen took down the strongmen one by one at the fastest speed. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord and others did not notice anything. They are now immersed in research and will not contact the corpse soul fire demon and others once in a little while. Yechen is now in the skeleton city. Their skeleton hall is powerful, and the skeleton city lord is a 9-star immortal strongman. They did not expect Yechen to be so bold. The Blood Witch Emperor and others came to cause trouble, but it was just a dispute within the abyss plane. What a good treasure! It is a 9-star immortal treasure. 2 minutes later, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord thought to himself. He didn't know that Yechen had already dealt with the corpse soul fire demon and the others. Just then, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord felt a suction force. The suction force came from the Time Tower. His eyes lit up. Was he chosen to get this treasure? Out of confidence in his own strength, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord did not resist the suction force. In an instant, his figure disappeared and he went to the Time Tower. It seems that we have no hope. Brother Bone Dragon should have made a discovery. The other 3 strong men felt regretful. The next second, they also felt a suction force. They were excited. Could it be that they also had hope? Without resisting the suction force, the 3 strong men were soon dumbfounded. They did not go to the Time Tower. They went to the cage of the Xuanhuan immortal city. Brother Bone Dragon, there is a problem. The three of us are imprisoned. Brother Corpse Soul and the others may have been in trouble. The voice of one of the late 8-star masters immediately sounded in the mind of the Bone Dragon Demon Lord. His system is not a pure communication system, but it is very capable in this regard. Damn it! The face of the Bone Dragon Demon Lord changed drastically, and he immediately tried to rush out of the time tower. Not good. One of these three guys contacted the Bone Dragon Demon Lord. Ye Chen's face changed. If the other party can contact the Bone Dragon Demon Lord, there is a big possibility that they can contact the other masters of the Skeleton City. Now there are many masters on the Skeleton City side. Boom. The powerful force of the Xuanhuan Immortal City immediately suppressed the Bone Dragon Demon Lord. The Time Tower is a 9-star immortal treasure. It is no problem to withstand the attack of the Bone Dragon Demon Lord in a short period of time. If it takes a long time, the Time Tower may collapse. 9-star Immortal Master. Roar. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord immediately turned into his original body and turned into an extremely huge bone dragon. Trapped. Ye Chen trapped the Bone Dragon Demon Lord with his 4 Xuanhuan swords. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord's strength was suppressed to only 7 stars, but he used forbidden techniques and his strength rose to the 8-star initial level again. Ye Chen has the strength of the peak of 8 stars. It is no problem for the 4 swords of Xuanhuan to form a formation to trap the Bone Dragon Demon Lord, but it is not so easy to kill him. Move. Ye Chen's 4 swords of Xuanhuan arrived outside the Time Tower and took the Bone Dragon Demon Lord to one of the prisons in Xuanhuan Immortal City. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord was also imprisoned. Die, or surrender. After transferring the Bone Dragon Demon Lord to the prison, Ye Chen immediately gave priority to dealing with the guy who was only in the middle stage of 8 stars. He is weak and easier to take down. In just a dozen seconds, this guy was dealt with. He was seriously injured in a short time. If he didn't surrender, Ye Chen would definitely kill him. Being killed by the peak of 8 stars and the 9-star immortal level strongman, even if he can be resurrected in the future, it is unknown when it will be. The strength of the Abyss Plane is strong, the strength of the Skeleton Hall is strong, and they also believe that they will be saved. Who among the strong men in other planes will easily make a deadly enemy with them? Taking them down to gain benefits is completely different from killing them. Quick! Rush over! In the outside world, many strong men rushed to Ye Chen at the fastest speed. If there were no restrictions, they could come here in an instant with their strength, but Skeleton City is the headquarters of Skeleton Hall, and there are various powerful restrictions. There are restrictions on speed. People of different levels have different maximum speeds allowed in Skeleton City. Strong men of the same level who are not from the Skeleton Hall are slow, while strong men from the Skeleton Hall are fast. Under normal circumstances, this is of great help to the strong men of the Skeleton Hall. Now it has affected the strong men of the Skeleton Hall to rush over immediately. Surrender, or die. Ye Chen said sternly, and he attacked one of the 2 8-star late-stage strong men frantically. This guy is much stronger. It took half a minute to be seriously injured. It looks like he can still hold on for another half a minute. Delusion. Even if he dies, this seat can be resurrected. The guy Ye Chen attacked said sternly. System, use 1/10 of the death power to attack him, let him taste it. Ye Chen said in his mind. Even 1/10 of the death force is not a small amount. A lot of death force quickly entered the body of the guy Ye Chen attacked, and his strength was reduced a little. Outside, many strong men of the Skeleton Hall were very close. I have the ability to completely kill you, do you want to try it? Ye Chen said murderously. The other party was terrified, and the death force devoured a lot of his vitality. If Ye Chen burst out this power with all his strength, he might really die. I surrender. His own strength was reduced a little, and with Ye Chen's means, he immediately chose to surrender. Banned. Ye Chen imprisoned this guy's cultivation in the shortest time. System, teleport to the floating city. Ye Chen immediately said in his mind. Yes, host. The system voice sounded. Ye Chen's figure disappeared. At this time, the rest of the strong men of the skeleton hall were very close to Ye Chen, and they could arrive in a few seconds. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 570. In a short time, Ye Chen was teleported directly from the skeleton city to the floating city of the 7th level of the plane. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord immediately felt that his strength had dropped to the level of 7-star perfection. The power of the 9-star immortal level of Xuanhuan Immortal City was also reduced to the level of 7-star perfection. The strength of Ye Chen and another 8-star late-stage strongman was the same. Looking for death. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord's eyes flashed with cold light. He did not have 7-star immortal level subordinates in his space treasure, but he had 7-star immortal level combat puppets. Instantly, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord released 3. The other 8-star late-stage strongmen also released 2 7-star immortal level combat corpses. Action. Ye Chen's mind moved, and the 7-star perfect level Tongtian sword bamboo obtained by signing in here launched an attack. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men were in the prison, and the combat puppets and combat corpses released were naturally in it. With the power of Xuanhuan Immortal City, plus the power of the 7-star perfect level Tongtian sword bamboo, it was enough to resist them for a little time. The combat puppets and corpses released by the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men did not all have the strength of 7 stars. Break. Ye Chen tore the space apart, and his figure quickly escaped to the outside of the abyss plane. It takes about 10 minutes to get from the abyss plane to the outside. Many powerful men in the skeleton hall surrounded the Lingshan of the corpse soul fire demon. A wave of powerful forces entered the cave where Ye Chen originally lived. The space fluctuates, and the man has already escaped. He can't escape. The entire skeleton city is now blocked. He must still be in the skeleton city. It must be the Blood Witch Emperor and his men who are doing this. Which 9-star immortal level strongmen took the opportunity to deal with our skeleton hall? The skeleton hall's strongmen were extremely angry. At the same time, they were also a little afraid. According to the information they received, there were 9-star immortal level strongmen against the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men. Who is being presumptuous in our skeleton city? A low voice sounded. The sleeping skeleton hall master got the news, and he slowly woke up from his sleep. His strength has not been fully restored, but it has been restored to a great extent. The peak strength of the skeleton hall master is the strength of the middle stage of the 9 stars. Now he has not recovered to the peak strength, but he has already reached the level of the early stage of the 9 stars. Skeleton City is his territory. In his territory, he can now completely compete with the strong men of the middle stage of the 9 stars. Hall Master! Hall Master! The strong men of the skeleton hall saluted one after another. The skeleton hall master soon appeared on the side of the Lingshan of the corpse soul fire demon. If Ye Chen was still here at this moment, he would definitely be in great trouble. The breath of the 9-star immortal level. This breath is a little strange, but it is only at the early stage of the 9 stars. The skeleton hall master sensed for a while and said, "Have you blocked the skeleton city before the other party ran away?" "Yes, hall master." "Then the other party should still be there." The skeleton hall master carefully examined the remaining space fluctuations. Ye Chen used the system to teleport, and after a while, the spatial fluctuations were very subtle, but with the strength of the skeleton palace master, he could still track him. 4 or 5 minutes later, the skeleton palace master's face changed. "Asshole!" The man ran away. The other party must have special means. Not only did he leave the skeleton city, but he has also left the 9th level of the abyss. The skeleton palace master said angrily. "Palace master, will the other party have escaped to the outside of the abyss plane? An 8-star perfect level strongman said. It's entirely possible. The Skeleton Palace Master allowed many strong men around him to enter his treasure space. Then he left the Skeleton City at the fastest speed. He could not tear the space in the Skeleton City to leave the abyss plane. Break. Tearing through the space, the Skeleton Palace Master quickly left the abyss plane. He was stronger and faster. As soon as Ye Chen arrived outside the abyss plane, the Skeleton Palace Master also arrived outside the abyss plane. The Skeleton Palace Master noticed Ye Chen at the first time, but he did not rush to Ye Chen immediately. With his cultivation of the early stage of the 9 stars, he could clearly judge that Ye Chen only had the cultivation of the late stage of the 7 stars. With the cultivation of the late stage of the 7 stars, he could defeat the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and others. Without showing any abnormality, Ye Chen moved away from the abyss plane at the speed of the late stage of the 7 stars. You, don't leave yet. I will ask you something later. The majestic voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind, and he had not left far at this time. Although the Skeleton Palace Master had little suspicion of him, he did not want Ye Chen to leave like this. Isn't this the voice of the Skeleton Palace Master? Ye Chen was shocked. Ye Chen knew a lot from Bias and others, and he knew what the voice of the Skeleton Palace Master was. The Skeleton Palace Master was actually awakened. A little sad. The plan was actually quite good. Ye Chen did not expect that the Corpse Soul Fire Demon would lead the Bone Dragon Demon Lord here. And one of them could notify the outside world. Escape. Ye Chen immediately fled to the distance at the fastest speed. The Skeleton Hall Master was stunned for a moment. He clearly saw that Ye Chen was only at the late 7th star level, but the speed he burst out at this moment actually reached the peak of the 8th star level. It's you. The Skeleton Hall Master immediately reacted. Ye Chen was the target he was looking for. A strong man in the Skeleton Hall received the news that there were 2 strong men attacking them, one with the strength of the early 9-star level, and the other with the strength of the peak 8-star level. Want to run? The Skeleton Hall Master chased Ye Chen at a faster speed. However, Ye Chen was not close to the Skeleton Hall Master originally, and he left a distance, so the Skeleton Hall Master could not catch up with Ye Chen in a short time. As time passed, the distance between the Skeleton Hall Master and Ye Chen kept getting closer. In the Xuanhuan Immortal City in the Burning Heaven Ring, the Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men fought desperately, but the power of the Xuanhuan Immortal City had now recovered to the 9-star immortal level. The Bone Dragon Demon Lord and his men could not rush out at all. After 10 minutes, the Skeleton Hall Master was very close to Ye Chen. Skeleton Hall Master, have you heard of luring the tiger away from the mountain? Think about why I only left the abyss plane a little ahead of you. I see that the Skeleton City is now full of corpses. Ye Chen's voice sounded in the Skeleton Hall Master's mind. The Skeleton Hall Master was shocked. What Ye Chen said was not without reason. If the 9-star immortal level strongman took Ye Chen away, he would have left the abyss plane long ago. Long ago. I will take you down first. The Skeleton Hall Master's cold voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind. He did not give up. System, the death power attacks the Skeleton Hall Master with all his strength. Ye Chen said in his mind. Now the distance is quite close, the system uses the death power to attack, and the loss on the way to attack is relatively low. Yes, host. Only 10% of the power was consumed before, and now the death power is still 90%. Ye Chen is now at the peak of the 8-star strength, and has accumulated a lot of death power. 90% of the death power is enough to pose a great threat to the Skeleton Hall Master. In an instant, the attack broke out. The Skeleton Hall Master felt the terrifying death power rushing over, and it came very fast. Not good. The Skeleton Hall Master frantically improved his own defense, but most of the death power still poured into the main body of the Skeleton Hall, frantically devouring the vitality of the Skeleton Hall Master. The Skeleton Hall Master realized that his strength was decreasing. His speed was also decreasing. Ye Chen used the forbidden technique at this time, and Ye Chen's speed increased to the 8-star perfect level. Skeleton Hall Master, you have been asleep for a long time. Are your subordinates still absolutely loyal to you? If your strength drops to only 8-star perfection or even 8-star peak, will they kill you? Ye Chen sent a message to the Skeleton Hall Master. The Skeleton Hall Master's injuries were not completely healed, and the attack of the Death Force also triggered his injuries. The Skeleton Hall Master quickly determined that his strength would drop to 8-star perfection within half a minute, and his strength would drop to only 8-star peak within 3 minutes. Whether his subordinates would kill him, the Skeleton Hall Master really didn't dare to bet. The Abyss Plane is the law of the jungle. You two take people to take down the other side. If you fail, I will never let you go easily. The Skeleton Hall Master ordered his 2 subordinates. They have 8-star perfect strength. Yes, Palace Master. The next second, 2 8-star perfect level strongmen came out from the Skeleton Palace Master's space treasure. They rushed towards Ye Chen. The Skeleton Palace Master slowed down, and he went to his own space treasure, asking the rest of his men to attack together, asking them to help clean up the death power in their bodies. In this way, his strength may only drop to 8-star perfection. When he returns to Skeleton City, he will still have the strength of the early 9-star in Skeleton City.